Hello and welcome to day 10 of bookmas. Okay, I'm just questioning how we've made it to bookmas already. Not bookmas, near the end of bookmas already. I mean, I'm saying this. I'm filming this since October. This is the first bookmas video I'm filming for 2025. And if haven't watched the last 8 episodes of bookmas, then you don't know. I have been uploading every other day for the month of December for Christmas, and I did it in 2023 and I did it in 2024. Really enjoyed it. It was a lot of work, but I really enjoyed it, so I really hope you've enjoyed it this year. I've tried to mix it up with a lot of sit down videos and vlogs, because during the year I've done a lot more vloggy style videos and less sit down videos, so yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. But for this one, I'm very excited. But first of all, if you're not new here, then welcome back. But if you are new here and this is the first video you're popping on of mine, then hi, I'm Amelia and I upload book content usually on a weekly basis at 6 PM on a Saturday. However, Christmas period, it is a bit of a mess. I tend to upload like every other day, and then I still do until the end of the year. So roughly around that time. So yeah. Anyway, this one, get buckled in, sit down, get cozy. I haven't done a 24-hour readathon video for my vlogmas in a while. I don't think I did it for bookmas before. I might have done it once in the first year, but I didn't do it last year. However, I was like, I've got a spare weekend where I'm pretty much free. I'm going to do 24 hours of reading. Am I questioning my sanity? Yes. But the big thing about this 24 hours of reading is, guys, I am one book away from hitting my book reading goal this year. My reading goal for 2024-5 was 60. Well, it's 60 books. I'm one away from hitting it. I'm one away at the beginning of October from hitting it. So this weekend, I'm going to hit my reading goal. So you are going to see me hit my reading goal with me. And I'm very excited for that. And we're also going to exceed the reading goal in 24 hours of reading, hopefully. Hopefully I read more than one book in 24 hours. Usually I do. One thing I should say, I will be doing the timer method where I will pause it when I go to bed and if I'm not at home. So for example, tomorrow I have a few hours where I'm not going to be able to sit and read because I have places to be. I have a promo day I have to be in East Grinstead, and I'm not going to read in the morning. I'm not going to have time to, and I'm not going to read until I get home from that, which will be about 3-4ish. So I'm not going to read for the majority of tomorrow until 4 PM, until the late evening. This evening I'm FaceTiming a friend, so I'll obviously pause the timer then. I'll pause the timer when I go to bed because I like my sleep. So basically I've got to get this all done by the end of Sunday. Yeah. So, but I am still going to do it because other than that I do have a free weekend, and because I wouldn't have done it if I didn't have a half day today, because I'm planning to start in like 10 minutes. I bought picky bits for lunch, so I'm going to have that whilst reading. I haven't really got a TBR because I'm not really sure what I'm in the mood to read right now, so I was like, you know what, we're just going to see what it feels like once I finish the books. So yeah, but I'm doing the timer method, like I said, and other than that I don't really have anything other spectacular rule that I do apart from just doing the timer method. My main thing is making sure I enjoy it as much as possible. If it gets to a point where I'm really struggling, like say I've read 4 books, just as an example, and I have like 2 or 3 hours left on the timer, if I'm going to the point where I just don't want to read another physical book, physically read another book or do another book, and I don't listen to an audiobook, likelihood is if I don't pick the rest of this other book up as an physical book, I'll just listen to the audiobook. If I've got because I've got one, I'm reading Zodiac Academy, the 6th one, which is Fated Throne, I think it is. And I'm obsessed, and I'm trying to just do it as an audiobook rather than reading it physically as well. So if I get to the point at the end and I've read all the books and I've just got a few hours left, I will be just like, okay fine, I'll listen to the audiobook. But if I really don't want to do that and I'm really going to the point where I'm not enjoying this, I will just end it early and I'll still call it 24 hours of reading, but more like a weekend reading vlog. The only time I will be really upset with myself is if if I stop before 20 hours. So if say I stop at 18 hours, I'll be like a bit disappointed. If I hit 20 and I don't hit the last 4, it's still a bit disappointing, but it's not. If I hit 22, I'm proud. If I hit the 24 hours, I'm even happier, but we're going to see what happens. I'm rambling. Like I said, I don't have an actual set TBR, but the first book I'm starting with is The New York Charm by Riley Winters. I don't know if you can see that. It is a Kindle Unlimited book. I don't have it physically, but I got the arc for the second book in the series, and I read it, and I literally give it 5 stars. I loved it. Also, I just realised I didn't say, I have my microphone in my bookmark, because I don't know why. I just thought it might be easier to hold. We'll see. I read the arc, literally finished it, not yesterday, the day before, fell in love with it. I gave it 5 stars. It was like amazing. It was so much fun. So I was like, I need to read the first book now, because we met our 2 characters in this book in the first book. So I'm excited, and I thought if I start with a cute little fun rom-com book, I think it will help. So I'm going to sit and binge this. I'm going to eat my lunch, and I'm going to set the timer in like 10 minutes. I'm going to sit and have a TikTok moment for 10 minutes, and then I will start the timer and get ready. Also, I have got this little like cushiony thing where I can put my Kindle on, and that, so this will be fun for the weekend. I'm going to stop yapping. I'm going to sort myself out. It is time to start the reading, for the 24 hours of reading. It's been a while. I say that, I did this last month. You would have seen it in October, but I did film one literally a month ago. Probably a month ago this weekend, but I really enjoyed it, and was like, I really want to do it again. Like, I was really craving doing it again, and I'm loving reading at the moment, so that's why I'm doing it again. But we are about to start the timer. We are about to start wherever this book is. We are about to start The New York Charm. Well, I say start, continue. I started the first 4 pages yesterday. But let's go. I'm also eating my lunch. I'd quickly give you like a little briefing of what this book's about. So I'm obviously, like I said, reading The New York Charm. We're following Dylan and Parker. Dylan has moved from her hometown to be in New York for her job, which was always her dream, and she's finally made it come true. Parker is also moving to New York for his job, and Parker is Dylan's ex. Now, like I said at the beginning, I read the second book in the series, and although it's not, you can read them on their own, they are interconnected standalones, and you meet some of the characters from the other books in this book. But in that book you saw Dylan and Parker, and I know what happens for them in the future. By the end of this book, we all know at the end of a romance book they're going to end up together, but I know what happens in the next book for them. However, obviously I need to see this. I want to see their story, so I am intrigued. Like I said, Faking It in Manhattan, which is the arc that comes out on the 14th. By the time you're watching this video, it is out, because it comes out the 14th of October. But I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. I loved the banter, the tension, everything with Blake and Scarlett. Sorry. I don't know if I've got a head cold. I think that's what it is right now. It's really winding me up. But we're going to fight it. Every time I feel like I have to do 24 hours of reading, something happens. So I'm not feeling great or something like that, and I'm not here for it. I'm also quite warm, but it's chucking down rain and I don't really want to open my window. But what was I saying? I really loved, like I said, the tension between Scarlett and Blake. Theirs was fake dating and enemies to I wouldn't say enemies to lovers, but I say hate to lovers, or dislike to lovers. But there was fake dating, and I loved it. This is second chance romance, and I also love second chance romance. It isn't giving me the same vibe as the second book. Like I feel like I was hooked from the get go. However, I am enjoying. So basically, you meet as soon as you start the book. Our main female character Dylan is at the airport going to New York, gets on the plane, and then who does she sit next to on the plane? Her ex-boyfriend Parker. And yes, straight into it. I'm on chapter 3. I'm 9% of the way through. Not that far. Literally not that far through. Need to get in. Like I said, I took a nap, so I paused the timer after 20 minutes because I was literally, my eyes were closing. I was like, yeah, I can't do this. So I'm gonna try and get some good chunk of reading done now. It is 3:30. So I'm hoping to get a good chunk of reading done now, so that I can. Yeah, finish this. I would like to try and finish this book tonight. Hello, we're gonna just avoid how messy my hair looks. Right. I have read for 4 hours and 40 minutes so far. We haven't finished this book yet. We're not even halfway through this book yet, which is actually, I want to say it's disheartening me, but it's not. I'm taking it slow. Like, usually in my readathons, I want to try and get as many books read. Today's not, because I am reaching my goal with this book. I'm actually not like rushing to finish it, which is obviously a good thing. I'm taking my time with it as much as I'm just enjoying it as much as possible. I have realised I've got to get up extremely early tomorrow, so I don't think I'm going to stay up much later tonight because I've got to leave here at 9:20. I need to get dressed, I need to do my makeup, and all the stuff I wanted to do, like tidying put my clothes away, isn't going to happen. So I don't actually know when that's going to get done. I think it needs to be done soon, but I guess it's not happening soon. Might have to do it with an audiobook on Sunday or something, or tomorrow you're gonna get home, depending on how I feel, because it needs doing, and it is like just putting a load of clothes away, where I have no space to put them, so a lot of it's gonna go in my wardrobe anyway. So reality is I can get it done pretty quickly, so potentially could do it when I get home quickly, or chat to my audiobook. Because my timer is on my iPad and I'm not taking my iPad with me, I might listen to my audiobook on the bus journey tomorrow, but I'm not going to count that towards the hours. But I am going to say I've done it. So if I do, like, fail, I can then say, but I did listen to some of the audiobook on the way to and from flying, because it's going to take me about 2 hours to get there, pretty much. Not literally, it's about an hour and 40 minutes to get to where I need to go to by bus, but it's like that's good enough time to get through 2 or 3 chapters of each way of Zodiac Academy. So yeah, anyway, like I said, I'm gonna start the timer for like probably 40 minutes. I am getting tired, but I just need to let myself get tired. I'm on page 121. I'm 41% of the way through, so I'm going to try at least get to 50 to 60% of this book done before I go to bed, but we will see how I feel. But it is the next day, so yesterday I didn't read as long as I wanted to. I didn't get to the halfway mark. I was falling asleep at my Kindle. It was bad, but I have 19 hours and 5 minutes left on the timer, so that's a lot of hours to cram in. So look at that. Can't you see it? It's a lot of hours to cram in. in the next day and a bit, but I'm determined to try. But like I said, I might need to take a nap. I have got an energy drink, so I'm hoping that will wake me up. The only reason I haven't taken a nap is because I've got makeup on my face, if you can't tell, and I really don't, and I can't be able to take it off at the moment. I don't really want to get it on my bed, so that's my other reason I haven't taken a nap, but I might have to just deal with it. Or try and take my makeup off in a minute, but we'll see. I'm not cooking dinner tonight, so I'm gonna get distracted. I'm having eggs and bacon with my mum and dad, so they're cooking and I'm just gonna eat it. So it should help me not like have less time reading. I'm gonna cook tomorrow and I'll have my audiobook so I can listen to that whilst cooking. But I'm gonna find a YouTube video to put on and I'm gonna try and read, even if it's for 15 minutes before I take a nap. But let's just try, because there's no harm in trying. There's no harm in trying, but this is probably the most chaotic 24 hours I've done, just because like I thought I was gonna start a lot earlier, so I actually left my flyering a lot earlier than expected, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna come home and read. Hello, I did a clip before this one and I completely forgot to put my mic on, so lol. However, I've just finished the New York charm. We have, let's see we've got 15 hours and 21 minutes left, so how many hours does it make? I've read 24 takeaways. Let's just do 20. We've read for 8 hours and 40 minutes. This book took us 8 hours and 40 minutes, which is actually quite good, because that's like kind of the average of an actual book. I'm giving this a 4.5 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. Loved it. Happy. It was easy read. It was giddy. It made me laugh. So yeah, my Kindle now needs charging, so that was a brilliant time to start a new book. It says I've got 10% left, and I wanted to start the book. What's it called? I can't really read on my phone as I would read on my phone. I don't really want to read on my Kindle, or on my iPad until so I don't know what to do. But I wanted to read Fool I Want by Lila Parrish. However, I think we'll have to find a book that's on my physical TBR. Because this does need charging, so I'll put that on charge in a second. But maybe I'll find one that's also on Kindle Unlimited, so that when my Kindle's charged tomorrow I can continue on my Kindle if I want to. But with this being said, I need to mark this off my Goodreads, which also means I've redone the goal. So I'm going to screen record. Let me just put, that's not let me put in the New York charm. Okay, I'm gonna not. I'm gonna screen record this, so bear with me, because it is me marking off my 60th book of the year, which is my target. So update progress. I finished this book, 4 stars, and if I click here, take it. We got a little animation. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Let's see if it's on Fable as well, because I've never. This year's my first year of using Fable, so I have no clue if it oh, I lost it. That was fine, but I still screen recorded, so it's fine. We can stop screen recording now. But honestly, that book was so good, and I'm so happy I've achieved my reading goal of the year. We're only October the 4th, so yeah, it's so good. Hello, okay, I'm coming in here to tell you I am not doing the rest of the 24-hour reading this week, and I was just going to end it and start a new one and not even bother ending it because I'll just delete the footage. That's what my plan was originally. I was thinking no, because I would like the footage of me finishing and reading this book. So I'm going to just extend the next one. I'll do 24-hour reading in not next weekend but the weekend after. I put it in my calendar. I'm going to do 12 hours on the Saturday, 12 hours on the Sunday, because I've got things happening on the Friday evening. And I'm okay with that. I feel like I just this weekend, if I didn't have anything happening yesterday during the day, I think I'd have been fine. It's because I had to go out during the day, and I think it just really affected it. And I come home, and and I think I would have done it today, but I'm just feeling really rough today. So I can't even hold my microphone. That's how rough I'm feeling. So I think I'm just having a chill day. I'm just gonna try and get other things done, and I'm going to still sit and read a bit today because I'm starting a different video today that I was going to start tomorrow, but then it's only going to be 4 days, and I was like, no, I need to do 5 days. I need to at least do 5 days. So it kind of works out well that I'm cancelling this 24 hours. It does kind of suck because I feel like I'm letting people down, but reality is I'm not letting anyone down except myself. But reality is I'm actually still going to make up for it by doing it in a couple of weeks. So, yeah. So you're just going to see the last footage, but I just wanted to kind of do a little end clip so then you can understand, because I will explain it when I start the next one, but I obviously want to let you guys know that although the only reason I want to keep this is because I did hit my target, my 60 book goal, and I would like that recorded and footage somewhere.
2 weeks later.
Hello, I'm not even going to say welcome back because you've seen the clips before this. However, I'm going to do another mini intro because that was filmed 2 weeks ago, and that was filmed at a time when I think I was getting ill. I genuinely was definitely getting ill because during that week I got a real bad cold. So I know I was getting run down, and that was my own fault for pushing myself when I was struggling. However, I'm back to restart the 24 hours of reading. We are going to do 24 hours this weekend. Even though I've done 8 hours of it technically in the first half when I read the New York Charm, I was going to just scrap it and start again. And one of the only reasons I didn't is I got so many clips of me talking about that book, and it is one of my favourite books. I fell in love with that series, and also it was the final book to get me to reach 60 books out of 60 books 2025. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to keep it. It is part of Bookmas. I was like, even though I want to be positive, it's realistic. So we are back with the 24 hours of reading. I'm hoping to start at 10, and if not, we'll start as roughly as soon as possible. It is 9:52, so the likelihood of me starting at 10 is very, very doubtful. But I'm hoping to start at least by 10, half 10. Just to set myself up, and I need to get my bed a bit more comfy and made because it looks a bit mess, and that's where I'm going to be sitting majority of today. So yeah, I was usually sit on my chair that's sitting here, but it's got loads of stuff on it and I haven't tidied it, which I was meant to do, but I've had a busy week, guys. However, for this 24-hour readathon, I have got a bit of a mini TBR. Not much, and a lot of it is probably going to be Kindle more than physical reads, but I've got a mix. I'm trying to keep fantasy off there because I am planning on Monday to pick up another fantasy book. I just finished a fantasy book, and I'm planning to pick up another fantasy book, so I don't want to read fantasy now because I'm one of the people who needs a bit of a palate cleanser in between a fantasy book. So yeah, we will see what happens. My throat is really dry, so I do apologise anytime I sound like croaky. But let's go through my TBR for today. So first of all, the book that I am starting the video with is First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. I actually started this yesterday. I've only read 3 chapters, so I'm not that far into it, but I am already enjoying it, so I'm hoping to continue to enjoy it. I will explain more when I start reading of what this book's about, but I'm excited, and I love this cover. Even though it's on Kindle, I do love the cover. This has been out for quite a while now, and every time I saw it in the works, I was so close to picking it up. But anyone who knows, I read Love Like Farms probably in the worst time because I was in a slump, so I wasn't exactly feeling it, and so it took me, I hadn't read another B.K. Borison book for a while until the other month when I listened to In the Weeds, which I enjoyed. Wasn't my favourite, but I enjoyed. But I've heard so many good things about this by everyone and anyone, and this was actually picked by the Discord, Ellie and Catherine's Discord, so yeah, First Time Caller. It's the first book we're reading. So far so good. Let's see how I feel throughout the book. I will go through my Kindle TBR in a minute, but let's go for the physical ones. I've got You Again by Kate Goldberg. When I'm filming this, it's October the 17th. We are halfway through the month. It is nearly Halloween. This is not a Halloween book. This is obviously a autumnal book, but I feel like we're in the season for autumn. So I've got this. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up. I'm not sure if I'm feeling it, but You Again. Then we have Unsteady by Peyton Corrine. I have had this book for quite a while now on my TBR, and I keep saying I want to read it. I haven't read it yet, obviously. And I have got Unloved, which is the second book in the series, on my TBR. So I would like to at least read the first one so I can then move on to that, but we'll see. It is also a sports ice hockey romance, I'm guessing, by the looks of it, and I love ice hockey, and I love this cover. I then have My Roommate is a Vampire. I know this is technically fantasy, but I think it's just a very light-hearted fantasy from what I've got from what Ellen Catherine read, so I'm thinking maybe this one will be fun to read. Just a little bit of fun to pick up in the readathon if I get a bit like sluggish and going, I don't know what to read. So that. I then have Wild Card by Elsie Silver. I feel like Elsie Silver is that one I now go to when I need a book to read of her, and I'm not sure because she usually just keeps me going. I like something that keeps me going, and this is the fourth book in the Rose Hill series. This follows Bash and Gwen, who we've had snippets of in the other books. So yeah, I'm intrigued. So maybe this one will get picked up, who knows. And then for the final physical book, it is Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. I need to read this because I love I love Out on a Limb, and I know this is the second one in that duology. And it follows Sarah and Caleb, who you meet in Out on a Limb, and I am going to be rereading Out on a Limb very soon for a video for Bookmas. So I would like to get this book done as well, so hopefully we can. Look how cute this book is. Like in this clip, I found this really cute. Like, it's just, I don't know, I feel like I need to read it. So yeah, and then for my Kindle TBR, I have got a few options on there. First of all is Fall I Want by Lila Parrish. It's one I really, really want to pick up because it's just, again, giving autumn vibes. And it's everything I've been thinking about. I've been seeing it all the time ago. I really want to read it, so I feel like I need to read it. Leather and Lark by Bryn Weaver. I read the first book in the series, which is Butcher and Blackbird, last year. Was it last year? Last year in April time. And I haven't thought about reading the second one at all until like now. Because it came up on Kindle. It was now on Kindle Unlimited, and I was like, it's now on Kindle Unlimited, maybe it's an option. I have Hot for Hostage by Maggie Evans. That is an option to read. I feel like that would be a fun one to read. I have a few others, but now I'm trying to find Slapshot by Chelsea Curto. Don't know why it's taking me so long to pick this one up, but that's another one I would love to read. Wickedly Yours by Jennifer Chapman. I read, is it Chapman or Chipman? Chipman, sorry. I read that, the first one, which was something Yours. Oh my god, what was the first one called? I don't want to open the book. Hold up. Oh Jesus. Hold on. I can't get out of this now. Spookily Yours. I read Spookily Yours last year. So it was like a little Halloweeny novella, like a small short book. And the second one's a bit longer. But I read that one and really enjoyed it. I was like having a great time. I couldn't stop laughing. So yeah, I thought that would be a good one if I really, really want to. But there's obviously other options to pick up. I've got a whole TBR cards and I really want to pick up a different book. I'm not trying to rush through books. Not that I try to anyway, but usually I try to finish 4 books in my 24 hours of reading. I'm not worried about how much I read. I've now hit my reading goal. So I'm kind of like, as much as I'm reading for my booktube and doing things for videos, I'm not in any like immediate rush to make sure I get my goal. Like I would like to hit 75 books this year, but I'm quite happy because I've hit the goal. So we're not in any rush, so I might read 2 or 3 books, who knows. I don't want to leave the readathon in the middle of a book. That is my only big thing. And the only way I will start the book I'm planning to start next, for the next video, is if I've got like 2 or 3 hours left on the challenge and I'm like, and I've fully finished the book, I've got to find a new one, I'll probably just start that book for that video because it'll just be easier. So then at least I've got a good chunk of the way through before the end of the readathon, and then for the next week. I'm hoping that makes sense. Now, I'm doing this slightly different to what I usually do, because usually I start on a Friday and finish on a Sunday. I couldn't start yesterday because I was at a launch night for a show that I'm doing next year, so I had to, like, obviously that was a write-off. So I'm planning to do 12 hours today and 12 hours tomorrow. So I'm not going to be starting at 10 because it's 10 now, so I'm planning to start at 10:30, which means I was going to log on at work at 10 tonight. I'm going to start as soon as I possibly can, so it means that whilst the qualifying starts, I can finish today's 12 hours and then log on to work for about an hour, potentially. I might not log on, but at least then I can just say, if I do, I do. I probably won't log on tonight. What am I talking about? You know what? We're going to start at 10:30. We're going to start between 10 and 10:30. And whatever time I start, I'll have 12 hours. And then I'll do 12 hours tomorrow. I was going to start actually at 7 and listen to an audiobook for like the first 2 hours of this. But then I was like, no. I just feel like 7 is too early for me to start reading or even listening to a book. So no. But we're going to do 12 hours today, like I said, 12 hours tomorrow. That'll hit 24 hours. But I feel like it's a good spread out. Also, it means I can still sleep and I can get stuff done. I'm going to I'm going to only put 12 hours on today's timer, and then I'll let that run out, and then I'll put another 12 tomorrow. Hello, okay, I thought I would now talk to you about what First Time Caller. I'm only read one chapter. To be fair, we are only nearly 20 minutes into this readathon, so it's not like I've not read much. The chapter was like a 15 minute like chapter anyway. However, I thought I'd tell you like a little bit about First Time Caller if you don't know what it's about, because obviously it's been out for a while. I've heard nothing but good things from most people. However, First Time Caller is about a woman called Lucy who is a mum to her daughter Maya, and it's about this guy called Aidan who hosts this like dating advice chat on the radio in the evenings. Sorry, got distracted. And Lucy's daughter Maya calls into the radio station for her mum. And then her mum ends up telling this guy Aidan on the radio station all about her love life, like how bad it is, or what she's looking for even. And yeah, and then that goes viral. So now Lucy has been asked to go on. But the sounds of it has been asked to go on to her oh my god, what's it called? How tired I am. I'm not even tired. I have been up since 7. So something heartstrings something, oh my god, what's it called? Heartstrings. Oh my god, why can't I remember what it's called? Something heartstrings, Baltimore heartstrings or something like that. Something to do with Baltimore and heartstrings. I don't know, but it's like a little dating advice. So it sounds like she's been asked to go on to that, and it's just the banter in this book so far is hilarious. I'm loving it. I am loving the banter between Lucy and her daughter, and I think with Lucy and her I don't know if they're exes or like he's her platonic best friend. They've been friends since they were 3. I don't know if he just like maybe they had a one night stand when they were like and then he realised he was gay because he's married to a man or he's dating a man, or he could be bi, or she was like, I want to be a mum, and he gave her the chance to. I don't know specifically what happened, but yeah. I think we're gonna learn it in a book, but it's I'm enjoying this book so far, and I'm only 4 chapters in. Like the last time I felt this excited about a book was Faking It in Manhattan. Like the first few chapters I was laughing straight away, and then it was a 5-star read. So I'm feeling 5-star feels for this book already, which is, I don't want to jinx it because I'm scared, but I'm loving it. I am thoroughly enjoying it, so I'm going to continue reading. I've got to go clean the coffee machine, which I'll do shortly. I've got a few other things to do, but yeah, I'm going to stop yapping. Let's go. Okay, we've currently been reading for just over 2 hours. I'd say 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I'm 27% of the way through. I should say I started reading today at 9%, so we've nearly read 20% so far today. I'm really, really enjoying this book. I'm loving the developments we're getting. I'm just loving the banter. I love the side characters. I'm really liking Jackson, who is Aiden's best friend, who I'm kind of hoping the second book is about, which is coming out at some point. I think next year, I might be wrong. But I'm just loving it. I honestly am having a really good time with this book. I have got the in-betweeners on in the background. So when I did my last time lapse, I literally was laughing, but I was laughing at the in-betweeners, even though I've seen it about 10,000 times. That's an exaggeration. I've seen it a lot less than that, but I've seen it quite a lot of times. But it's just one of those shows that just keeps me smiling and makes me laugh every time I watch it. So I was laughing at that, but also at the book. It is just so good, and I definitely don't know why it's taken me so long to pick this book up, because honestly, I'm having the time of my life. I'm literally having the time of my life. I feel like I've started this readathon with a really, really good book, which kind of scares me for the rest of it, because I'm like, if I start with a good book, what happens then if I pick up a really bad book? Or am I going to compare every other book I read now this weekend to this book? Who knows? I'm going to continue reading. I'm only on chapter 11. We've got quite a long way to go. My Kindle was saying it's going to take me 5 hours and 9 minutes to complete this book, so we'll see if I can actually do it before that or in that time, and then we'll figure out what I'm going to pick up next. Okay, it's a bit later. My fringe is out of my way. It is currently 4:20. We've got 6 hours and 15 minutes left on the timer, which means we are just under halfway by 15 minutes. When we hit the 6 hour mark, we'd have done half the day of reading so far, and I've had 2 naps. I don't know why I'm so tired. Excuse me, sorry, apologies. I do know why I'm so tired. I literally started my period today, so my energies are very low, and I'm trying my hardest to fight through it because I'm not failing like last time. We are halfway through the first time caller. It's now currently saying I've got 3 hours and 40 minutes left in this book, so I think we're gonna obviously finish this one tonight, and then we'll move on and start the next book I'm gonna pick up. We obviously won't finish that, but we'll start it tonight. But yeah, I'm still enjoying this. I think I'd be much more laughing at it if I was more awake, but I am enjoying what's happening. I'm enjoying the dynamic between Aiden and Lucy, and I do find it quite funny, and the chemistry, you can tell they've got connection, but you can tell they're just trying to ignore it. And I cannot wait to see their relationship develop. It is a bit of a slow burn, and I like that. So I'm trying to open my bottle of water whilst I talk. Hello. Okay, my hair looks a little bit of a mess. I need to brush it through, taking it out from being half up, half down. However, we have finally finished. What did I read? We have finally finished The First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. Oh my god, I was obsessed. I loved the whole thing. Yes, it took me all day to read. Yes, it took me longer than I probably could have read that book. But I'm so glad I took my time with it, even though I'm doing 24-hour reading. So I am rating it 5 stars. I had the feels all the way through the book that it was going to be 5 stars. So yes, it's a 5-star read. I really, really enjoyed the book. I enjoyed the story. Loved Lucy and Aiden. Loved everything. And I wouldn't even say whatever, if you class it as a third act breakup, it didn't feel that bad. It felt like it was needed the way it happened. Like he was not ready at that time. He needed that time. So I loved everything about this book. There was actually a quote in so at the end of each chapter there's like a little podcast section. One sec. I took a picture of it earlier, now I need to find it. There's like a little podcast section, and this caller says, I want to believe in it, that there's someone out there waiting for me, but it can be hard. Sometimes I lose hope. And I literally read that and was like, oh my God, I feel seen. Because that is how I feel. And I'm not saying I've given up on the idea of love. I know one day it will happen. But sometimes it is hard to believe it, especially when you see everyone else happy and you're not. I don't know what I'm saying, I'm not happy. I am happy, but I'm not in a relationship. You see everyone else in relationships and you're like, I would like that one day for myself, I'm not trying to write myself out of it. Like, it's something I want. It's something I see for myself. Like, just right now is not the right time, but I think when you've gone your whole life of being single and you've never had a relationship, and then you see everyone else getting one, you're like, it would be nice. But yeah, I now need to figure out what I'm going to read next. I'm torn between Out in the Woods, Out of the Woods even, or Slapshot or Fall Into You. I think there are three of the ones that are kind of at the top of my mind to read. So I'm gonna take a moment to figure out what I want to read next, and then I will probably come back to you. I also mention how long we've got left for today. We've got just under 2.5 hours to go of today's reading challenge, so we should finish about 10:30 or just after 10:30, which isn't too bad. So I'm obviously not going to finish another book today, but I am going to get somewhere through that book, whichever one I pick up. But yeah. Okay, we finished. Obviously, I said we finished First Time Caller, which was a 5 stars. I'm now picking up. It took me over half an hour to think of a book to decide. Why did it take me that? We've got an hour and 48 minutes left on the timer, and I haven't read since I finished First Time Caller. But I'm gonna pick up Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. It was honestly really hard to decide because I wasn't sure. Because especially the first few chapters are based 17-16 years ago, and I'm like, yes, I like getting the backstory, but I know the characters enough, but I'm intrigued. So we're going to pick up Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young for the next book. I was going to do Fall I Want, because I do really want to read that, but I think the next book after this I'm going to pick up is Diabound, because I really want to read that, and I'm going to be reading it for the rest of the week anyway, so I don't think I'm going to finish it in this reading vlog, but it means at least I'll get a good chunk of the way through it before the week starts, because I feel like if I get a good chunk of the way through before I start, I get hooked on it. If I do a few chapters a day, I struggle. So yeah, we're gonna read Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. All I keep wanting to sing is the Taylor Swift song Out of the Woods. Are we out of the woods? Yet are we out of the woods? Yet are we out of the woods? The one and I'm pretty sure that's the song that Belly and Conrad finally got back together with. But yeah, I'm gonna start this book now. So let's go. I look a bit dishevelled. Hello, happy Sunday. It's the second day of this reading challenge, and I did actually start at 7. I paused it when I finished working about half an hour ago because I was getting ready and sort myself out. So I paused the timer whilst I was doing that because I was like, you know what, I'm not actually reading at all. I don't know when I'm going to start back, but I am literally about to start reading. But I have actually listened to 5% of the Zodiac Academy Heartless Sky, which is the 7th book, which is like 1,000 pages. So and I'm at 32%, so I went from 27% to 32%, which obviously isn't much if you think about it, but it is in the fact of how big that book is. And I feel like we just got so much character development in those 2 chapters I listened to from like some of our characters. I can't say too much because it is like the 7th book in the series. So, and then I listened to a bit of the Let Them theory because I am slowly making my way through it. So I listened to like 1 chapter of that today, and I feel like a lot of that 1 chapter resonated with me so much deep down, and I feel like maybe I needed to hear that, even though I don't feel like I'm going through that right now, but previously in the past and several times. And I mentioned about dating and and I was like, oh, yeah. So I've listened for an hour. I need to put you in charge. So whilst I put you in charge, I'm about to continue reading Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. I know what my next book is going to be. I put it on the Discord chat for Ellen Catherine's a poll again because I didn't know what to read next. My next fantasy book out of 3, I had it between Alchemized, Quicksilver, and Diabound. And it was close that Alchemized was going to beat Diabound, but Diabound won by 2 votes. Otherwise, it could have been Alchemized, and I don't know if I'm actually prepared for that. But yeah, I'm very excited to continue this book and to see what happens between Sarah and Caleb throughout this book, and hopefully, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a happy ending because most romance books are, but who knows. Yeah, but with doing this, if I restart the timer now, I should be finished at 22 minutes past 7, which is a good time because the race is at 8. And I know that I can't read whilst watching the race. I try to, but it's very hard. And I feel like I don't want to end a readathon on, like, not reading a thing properly for 2 hours. So, especially when I'm reading a fantasy book. So I thought it would be better to finish it before. Well, I'm assuming I'm going to start the fantasy book because I'm going to finish this, hopefully. But enough yapping. I'm going to put you in charge. I'm going to start reading. Let's go. We have 4 hours and 50 minutes left on the timer, and I have finished Out of the Woods. So this book took me I had an hour and 50 minutes when I started yesterday, and then how many hours? I read 6, 7, 8, about 8.5 hours to read this book. I think that's a pretty good average time. I know it's only 315 pages, but it's a good average time when I'm actually taking my time to read it rather than try and get 3 books. And it makes me sound like in every other 24 hours of reading I rush my books and don't pay attention. That's not true. But yeah, I also think it depends. Like, if I'm doing what I usually do, where I start the Friday and Sunday, I think it's a little bit easier. But because obviously I've split it, it's different. But I'm quite like this way, so I might do this way more often. Who knows? But I have finished this book, and I don't know why everyone didn't like it, because I really enjoyed this book. I think it gave me banter, but it also gave me emotion, and it gave me heart. And I felt like I think maybe because I connected to Sarah in different ways, like, obviously I'm not married, but like wanting to have something that's your own, like, that's me, or feeling like you're kind of stuck it's always how I sometimes feel. Obviously, I know that I'm not stuck, and I know that things will change, and I am working on things to change, and eventually it won't be like this all the time. But sometimes I feel like I resonate in some ways, not fully, and I still love Out on a Limb a lot more. But I really enjoyed this book. I'm giving it a 4-star. I'm giving it a 4-star. I think it was a very good book. I think it was really enjoyable, really fun to read, really emotional. And the ending, I liked the epilogue, and I liked that it wasn't a stereotypical, oh, I got pregnant and had a child. Like, I like that was the case. Obviously, they're already married, and it could have been easy that they did, like, we're, what's the word you do? Renewing our vows. No, it was something completely different, and I loved how that ended. It was so different to what it could have been, so... yeah, 4 stars for this book. I'm really happy I read it. I don't know why. And maybe because I knew people didn't like it, I went in with that expectation and actually loved it. So, yeah. Let me go get the next book so I can show you before I need to put you back on charge. Oh, the next book I'm reading is Diabound by Sable Sorensen. This is a fantasy. I think it's a romantasy one. I'm hearing several different things about this book, but like good things, and I'm intrigued of what it's about. I'm hearing that there's bonding trials, so people have said it's like kind of like Fourth Wing but with wolves, and I'm intrigued and excited but nervous at the same time. So I'm gonna start this in a minute, and I will keep you updated with my thoughts, but you need to go on charge. So yeah. Hello, okay. I have an update for you. We've only got 2.5 hours left now, and I didn't read straight after I finished Out of the Woods. I actually stopped for a bit because I was like, I need to move. So I did a bit of a little mini workout. I then sat down and started reading this book really, really slowly. Well, I took a nap, then started reading this book really slowly. I read 2 chapters and a half of the third chapter. It seems interesting, right? But I just don't think I'm in the mood for it right now. And so I just was trying to work out what videos I need to film for bookmas, because I had a different reading vlog planned to film this week, and then I looked at my screen time, which was what it was using. It was going to be reading pages for the amount of times I picked up my most used app, and my most used app was like 53 minutes, so it was either going to be 53 minutes or I was going to do 53 pages, one of the two. And I was like, 53 pages was not much, but also 53 minutes is not much. That would be my lunch breaks tied together, so I'd get it all done at work. So I just didn't feel right doing it. Then I was trying to figure out what I could do this week, and I was trying to do something for bookmas. I was like, I'm trying to do something I haven't done recently, so I've removed that vlog and done a sit-down video, so you've got that to look forward to. I don't know if this is going out before or after, but yeah, I changed my mind, so I'm going to start another video that I'm going to be filming. You're going to get the idea of it. Let me see when this comes out first. It's only going to be a couple of days, so this video comes out actually after the one I'm going to film with these 2 books, so you'll already know what video it was. But I'm going to be filming a rereading two of my favourite books video, and I've decided to do that early and then swap another video, the Tackle by TBR video that you'd have seen. I'm going to film it during show week, so I might be able to add more than one book in, we'll see. But yeah, so let me just go get the 2 books I'm going to reread, and I'll make a decision of which one I'm going to start in the next 6.5 hours. So the 2 books I'm going to reread is Reckless by Elsie Silver. This one is Theo and Winter's book. I loved this book. When I first read it, it got me out of a slump. Last year, when I was getting one at the end of 2023, going into 2024, I got out of a slump with this book. So I'm excited to pick this one back up. And then my reread of Out on a Limb. Now, for you, you'd have probably thought I read this before I read Out in the Woods, because... well, maybe not, because if you see my wrap-up in November, my October wrap-up, then you probably won't, because I probably won't finish it. Actually, I might finish it. It depends which way I read it. I have a feeling I'm going to pick this one up first anyway in a minute, because I kind of like feel like now that I've now read Out in the Woods, I kind of want to reread this book to stay in this kind of zone. But I'm not sure, because both of this one and this one I pretty much read in 2 days. So they're both books I read pretty quickly the first time. And like, let's go back to Diabound quickly. I do really want to read it soon, so I do hope I get to pick it up very soon. I just think personally I'm not in that mindset of wanting to pick it up. And I know if I'm not in that mindset of wanting to pick it up, I'm not going to read it with that mindset of going, oh my god, I'm so excited for this book. I'm going to read it going, oh, for goodness sake, can't be bothered. And then it's going to really dampen my effect of my thought of reading it. And I know that I don't want to do that. It's like I could pick up Alchemist because that's all that's in my head right now. But I'm like, no, not prepared for it. So I'm hoping once I finish all my bookmas content, I will be starting content for the new year. But okay, we have 4 minutes till my time is going to stop. But I just can't sit and read anything more today, and I feel like I'm just going to end it here 4 minutes after before the challenge is ending. But I think I'm pretty proud of myself because I could have just easily given up. I felt like there was times where I could have just easily given up, but I didn't. And I like the idea of doing 12 hours on Saturday and 12 hours on Sunday. It does just mean that I don't have any part of the Sunday to myself until the evening, which can be annoying. But technically when I do my normal way where I start Friday to Sunday and I have half of Sunday left, I usually just do a couple of hours or something and then I'll just go back to reading anyway. So in some ways it just doesn't make much sense why I don't do this. I feel like I like this way because I feel like it's much more achievable this way if I set aside a weekend where I know I'm not going anywhere and I just do 12 hours. I think the problem was when I started this challenge, when I started the challenge originally, the first time, like 2 weeks ago, I started on a Friday evening, afternoon. I had a half day of work, but I was also not feeling great. I started Friday evening or afternoon, evening time, and then I continued to Saturday. And I was then on Saturday, I was not at home for like 5-6 hours because I was doing leafleting for my show, to the point where I then got home at like 4. So at that point, I didn't really have the momentum to continue, and that was my problem. I feel like if I was going out in the evening, it would be different because I felt like I'd have had the day to sit down, the momentum would have been there. So, yeah, with that being said, I am very happy I've done this, and yeah, I've only read 2 books and about 20% of a reread, but I'm pretty proud of that. I'm really happy with what I've read. I've also read 2 really good books. So either way, it hasn't been a fail. I've been very, really proud of how it's gone. So I read, for the first book I read today was Challenge I did First Time Caller by B.K. Borison, which followed Lucy and Elliot, and I absolutely loved this book. I thought it was so much fun. The banter was great. I couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't stop smiling. The whole book was making me happy and giddy. The third act breakup, I guess you could call it, just kind of felt very valid and was neat. Kind of felt like it was gonna happen, but it was like it didn't feel like the worst third act breakup I've read. I didn't feel like, oh, miscommunication, blah, blah, blah. Like it was slightly miscommunication, I guess, but it wasn't like that bad, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes any sense. I think I'm losing the plot, or I've lost the plot, one of the two. I then read Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young, this book, and considering a lot of people I've seen have said they didn't like this book, I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I really enjoyed Sarah and Caleb's story and seeing them outside of Out on the Limb, because I'm currently reading, like I said, rereading Out on the Limb, and we're seeing Sarah and Caleb in it because they are quite prominent in this book because they are best friends of Wyn and Bo. So you get quite a lot of them in this book, but not like, it's obviously not their story, but seeing their own story, I really enjoyed it, and it's like I just really enjoyed the story, and I cried in this book several times. It could be hormonal, it could just be not, but I really enjoyed this book. So 4 stars. I gave First Time Caller 5 stars, this one 4 stars, and then I started my reread for Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I am reading it on Kindle because it's easier, but I am going back and annotating whenever I want to annotate. So this will be a fully annotated book. You will see my thoughts and my spoiler thoughts in the previous video to this, which came out 2 days before this one. So please let me know in the comments if you've watched that. But with that being said, my timer has just gone off. And with that being said, I've got 38 minutes till the race. So I'm going to end this video here. If you did enjoy this 24 hours of reading, then please give it a thumbs up, please comment down below, please subscribe, and I will see you again in a couple of days with another video.